I'm on the phone with Kansas City, Missouri's own Wayne, the travel guy Bailey. How you doing today, Wayne?
I'm doing pretty good, man. How you doing?
Wayne is an official I ran into on Facebook, and he came up to my one of my shows back. I can't remember, a couple of shows back. Did a really great job of officialing for me. Every time I have a show or know of people having a show, I request him. Now, you guys need this guy. Wayne, go ahead and tell the podcasters a little bit about yourself.
All right. So again, I'm from Kansas City, Missouri. I am a level 2 USA boxing official. I ref, I judge, I do timekeeping. Basically anything the promoter needs me to do. Like I'm equipped to do it. I've been an official probably for about 3 years now. I started off just working at the glove tables, and then just kind of worked my way up, just trying to learn everything there is to do. So that's what I do.
That's the way to do it, man. You really surprised me when you said 3 years, because I've seen some officials that have been around for a while, and you do a really great job. I don't look to see your scorecards or anything like that, but I see how you move around. You know what I mean? I pay attention to everything, like I tell my kids. I pay attention to everything. I hear everything, and I heard just good things about how you official. So one main thing I want to talk about the officials, a lot of these new guys, I would say old coaches and new boxing fans, they don't know the real scoring that judges are looking for. Everyone's still stuck on that old school, how many times you can hit them, the aggressiveness and stuff like that. And I tell them all the time, I says that's not how they're scoring it anymore. And especially, I really figured that out when I took time out, went to an official meeting, and they broke everything down. And I'm like, well, that's why my girl keeps getting beat, because she's throwing, she's aggressive, but she's not throwing them damn punches straight. She's kind of winging them, but she's throwing. But y'all are looking for something different. Tell us what you guys are looking for.
Okay, so we have a 10-point must scoring system, and there within our scoring criteria, it's 3 things that we're looking for, and it's the number of quality blows on the target area. We're looking for domination by technical and tactical superiority, and we're looking for overall competitiveness. And what that means is, so I might have a fighter that's in the blue corner, and his style is just walking forward the whole time. He's walking forward. He's throwing punches. He's not really using no defense. He's not really going to the body. He's just coming straight forward the whole fight. But then, I got somebody in the red corner who, he's using feints. He's using, he's ducking his head. He's throwing body shots. He's counter punching, different things like that. And, the red corner is going to get the more points. Now, we do have we do have like our point allocation. So, it's 10 point goes to the winner of the round. And then it's, the fewer points go to the loser. So the winner of the round gets 10. If it's a close round, the other person gets 9. If it's a clear winner in that round, you get 8. And if somebody got totally dominated, then they're going to get 7. So then after the 3 rounds, you add them up, and then, that's how they decide who wins. But like I said, there are a few things that we're looking for as judges.
And I'm glad you said that 10-8 thing, because a lot of people just think if they lost a round, it's a 10-9 round. That's not necessarily what it's going like. You know what I mean? Like, you just hit it right on the head. And boxing, someone who's been around it long enough will understand what you just said.
Yeah, absolutely not. If it's like a clear, if red is clearly winning, counter punching, landing the more effective shots, controlling the ring, then it's not a 10-9 round. It's a 10-8. Like, I have a clear winner that round. Mm-hmm. Another misconception too that people think that I want to clear up too. So people think just because you get a standing 8 count in that round that the other person automatically won that round. That's not true. Mm-hmm. The standing 8 is for safety. So if red is like dominating the whole round, 10 seconds left, red drops his hands, boom, he gets hit with 2 shots. Yes, I'm going to give him the standing 8, but red still won that round.
Exactly. I was just ready to, you read my mind. I was just ready to ask you about that because a lot of people see that. And I'm like, that's not how it is, man. I said, I even tell them before, I said, I had one of my own kids get a standing A count early in the round and came back and destroyed the kid. The next, the rest of the round, of course, we won that fight. They're like, why you shouldn't have won it? Because he got an A count. That don't make a difference anymore. It's not like that anymore. It's the scoring difference different. What do you mean by that? I'm like, so I figured out to give you a call and you can clear everything up. And if they can't figure it out, then that's on them. I'm just trying to help everyone out in Iowa. So there you go, all you coaches that are listening to me. There you go. He just told you what was up. So what do you like to do? Do you like to be the judge or do you like to be the referee?
I love being the ref. I'm inside the ring. I get to see the action. I'm helping the fighters, be safe. And I just, that's what I enjoy more. I do judge. I mean, both of them are very, very important. Very important. But, if I had my choice, I love reffing a little bit more.
And yes, I get in the ring too, at the gym and do a little refereeing with the littler kids. That's something I'm about to take up myself. Because Iowa's lacking with officials. I know we're getting back on board. We're getting some, but they're all coming out of the same city, which could be a good thing and which could be a bad thing. It is what it is. You can take that whatever way you want to take it. But we need to spread this out throughout Iowa or throughout the Midwest. That's why I linked up with you, and you come up when you can. And I appreciate that. That's why I take care of you when you're here.
Yes.
But I'm definitely trying to get into that, put that on my resume, getting in there to be an official. And I told the head official, Jeannie Joyner, I said, you know what, when I get into this, I said, I keep it real on everything. So if I'm doing an official, of course I can't official my own club. I don't want to official my uncle's club or my cousin's club. I don't want to do any of that. Because I don't want any.
That's another thing too. Sorry to cut you off.
You good.
So that's called a conflict. So
exactly.
Let's say I bring a team up from Kansas City to Iowa. We're gonna do a Kansas City versus Iowa show. So if it's a kid that I have a direct relationship with, a kid that, I'm always in the gym with them, you are not supposed to be judging that kid's fight. So let's say I show up to your show and I see a kid and I know his father. Now I didn't know he was going to be there. Immediately as an official, you're supposed to go over to the table and say, hey, I can't ref bout 7 because it's a conflict. Now I can time keep because I have no impact on the fight. Literally, I just control the time. It's called a conflict.
Exactly.
Now to coaches and stuff like that also too. If you know that, so if you see me and you see me getting my stuff on and I'm getting ready to judge a fight, and you're like, wait a minute, that guy knows this fighter, you can go to the table as well and talk to the OIC and say, hey, listen, I don't think my kid is going to get a fair shake because I know that Wayne knows this kid.
Yeah.
And then normally we have, a few officials in the house where somebody will just take my spot, but that's called a conflict. You're not supposed to be doing that.
And that's where I go about spreading this out throughout Iowa. I understand there's some places that are trying to help Iowa out as officials, but at the same time, like you said, the conflict stuff. You can't be having judges coming out of your own gym judging the other kids' fights because that's just going to end up in a bad situation anywhere it goes unless that kid gets beat. Because like you said, you can ask to see the scorecards at the end of the fight and this and that, but that's just a big pain in the butt to me. I told Jeannie Joyner, I said, if I ever do an official thing, I'm going to keep it real, and if I hurt someone's feelings, that's how it's going to be. Even if I judge my own, even if I would judge my own kid's fight, if my kid's getting beat, you getting beat. I'll tell you, boy, you got beat. What are you talking about? You know what I mean? So,
and you know what?
But not too many people keep it real though. So you know how it goes, man.
And I'll even say this, even for you as a coach. So you might say, or I might say, you know what? I can watch this fight subjectively. I can judge this fight, but honestly, even not trying to, you're not going to watch it subjectively. You're going to be watching for what your fighter's not doing right.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So it kind of that's why it's called a conflict. And, like I said, man, these kids work extremely hard. And it's nothing worse. And I've seen it, it's nothing worse than seeing a kid give all they got for 3 rounds and then get robbed. I've seen some flat out robberies. And it's like, man, like I said, we're here for the integrity and to help these kids, if they want to go pro or go to the Olympics and stuff like that. So that's why we always want to give them the good, good decisions.
I'm glad you said that, because that's exactly what happens sometimes to some of these youth. They go out there and they give their all and they get robbed. They get robbed and they get robbed again. They're like, wow, what's going on? And they're like, well, I just give up. I'm done. You know what I mean? Because I'm not winning and this and that. And I'm like, you know what? When you first starting off at novice, it's all about getting better and get yourself ready for the open. But at the same time, when you do get into the open, and say there's a guy that's been on the scene for a little while, he just, like you just said, someone gets highway robbery and this new kid comes up and just pieces him up for 3 rounds and loses. That was the conflict somewhere on there. You know what I mean? Even if that official wasn't from the same club, but they knew him, and that's why I tried telling my head official up here too. I said, we can't be having all that stuff up in here. We can't have that. I said at the end of the day, I think head officials should be judging them too, and they need to keep a closer eye on what's going on outside the ring as their officials. And if they're not doing a good job, because I know sometimes you see them sitting there with the other judges, they're getting the little, showing them how to do stuff, but that judge might not be a good judge. So you definitely got to.
And you really have to be watching and paying attention to what's going on. So one thing that I do, so when I'm judging, you have to tune out the crowd and you have to tune out the coaches, because some coaches, so if I'm sitting right next to Red, right, the coach might be talking to his fighter, but he's talking to me, but he's acting like he's talking to his fighter. He might say something like, great round, great job to win that round, but he really didn't win that round. But it puts it in your head like, okay, Red might have won 10-9, or it might be a shot. So we don't count like slaps, right? Yes. So that's not a punch. We do not count those. But Red might throw like 3 slaps in a row, and the coach is like, great job, great punch. It puts in your mind, okay, they threw a good shot, let me score that, when it's like, no, that's not what happened. So you have to stick to your rules. You have to know what's going on.
And that goes back to what you just said about the criteria to scoring. They don't know. They just think that's scoring, and it's not. That's what I got you on here for, to clear up a bunch of stuff on this podcast about the officials, because we, like I said, we're far from having a lot of good officials. I'm just going to say that it is what it is. Like I said, I've been around the sport since I was 5 years old, but it's changed since then. Even back then, people were getting robbed too. So the best thing I was ever told by my grandfather said, don't leave it up to the judges. Just go out there and stop them. You ain't got to worry about it. And I tell my kids that all the time. I said, hey, if you go out there and stop them, you don't got to worry about the decision, pretty much. So, see, a lot of things, I knew this was going to be a good one, because you're talking a lot of stuff, good stuff, and I'm talking, that I'm asking, and you're saying some of the stuff that I wanted to ask you. So that's why I was like, I definitely got to give this guy a call.
Yep, and like I said, it doesn't matter if a kid throws a slap and it knocks down the other person. That's not counted. That's not a quality blow. You have to turn the punches over. The front of the glove has to land.
Yep. And that's where I was talking about when I found that out, when I went to that officials meeting, and I'm like, okay, Jackie, she's hitting her, but they're not straight down the middle. They're kind of looping. And it made a lot of sense to me. And that's why I keep trying to tell people, I keep trying to tell these kids in the gym, this is what they're scoring on. Let's do this, let's do that, let's do this. That's why I'm telling you that, because I'm trying to help you win, but you keep doing what you want to do. And then that's why these fights aren't going the way some of them should be going. You do what you're supposed to do. And as I see it, I'm a good leader, and I'm not going to steer them in the wrong direction. So if I'm telling you to do something, do it.
But also too, but that's where the reffing comes in too. So if I'm reffing And blue corner, you know, they're doing a good job, but they're doing a lot of slap punching. That's that's my job to step in and warn you. Blue, you're slapping. You know, so that kind of gives them a heads up, like, okay, let me stop doing this.
Exactly, and that's what I don't see a lot of that as referees. That more the vocal stuff. You know what I mean? Like, hey, going to a rink, because there was this girl from Iowa who fought up in the Golden Glove Nationals last night, and the girl I didn't watch them, just hearing by what my uncle told me, and I believe anything my uncle tells me about boxing because he's been around the sport for a long time. He said the girl just kept holding and mugging her and holding her, and we didn't get nothing, no warnings or nothing. Did at least 7 or 8 times throughout the fight. How many times you gonna let that go before you say something or start taking a point from somebody?
So what you do is you have like a soft caution. That means I don't stop the action. I'm walking around the ring. I notice this. Hey, Blue, stop holding. Blue, you're slapping. Blue, you're pushing. You still keep the action going, but it's a soft caution. So I'll do that a couple times. Then I'll say, stop the action. Blue, you're like, now I'm in front of Blue. You're looking at me. Blue, you're slapping. Blue, you're holding. Blue, you're pushing. After I do that, now it's time for you to get a warning or a point taken away. Because I've already done the soft caution. I'm telling you this while you're boxing. I've stopped the action. I'm telling you this. And if you keep doing it, now I'm going to take a point away. Then, if you still don't listen to that, now we get into disqualifying.
It's a wrap. That's what we need. Way more of that. Way more of that. What I think is that some of these referees are scared of what other people are going to say outside the ring.
No, but let me tell you. So those cautions, that protects you from the outside of the ring, because whenever I take a point from someone, everybody that's around the ring and the crowd, everybody should know. Nobody should be surprised why I'm taking this point, because you've already heard me say, Blue, you're slapping. Blue, pick your punches up. Let's say Blue keeps throwing low blows. Blue, pick your punches up. Blue, pick your punches up. He throws another one. Stop. Blue, I need you to pick your punches up. So by that time, if you do it again and I have to take a point, you as the coach know and the crowd knows, because they've heard me warn him multiple times.
Exactly. A coach should know that. A coach should be telling his boxer that, hey, man, you better keep them punches up, you know. So have you ever went to a corner in between rounds and tell the coach that, just in case he didn't see it?
So this is what I do, and this is what one of the rules is. So that minute in between rounds, that's your time as the coach. So I never interfere with that. But when they clack for 10 seconds and both fighters stand up, I'll turn to your corner and look at your fighter and say, Blue, I need you to pick those punches up.
There you go. So
I won't interrupt your time as the coaching time, but I'll do it before the bell. That way you hear it, the crowd hears it, and your fighter hears it.
Yep. So here's another question for you. Say the bell rings, the end of the first round, and he's been warned a couple of times, and you're close to that guy's corner, but the other guy's across the ring. Would you ever do a little walk by and say, hey, coach, kid's holding, and just keep walking? Don't even stop to tell him, just to do a little walk by and say, hey, coach, your kid's holding, and just keep it moving. Have you ever done that before?
So you can, but that I don't think. Okay, so let's go to the integrity part, right? So let's say that I do that. I walk past your opponent's corner, and you hear me say, you don't hear what I say to him, but you see me say something to him. As a coach on that other side, let's say your kid loses the fight. What are you going to think? Man, that ref was talking to him between rounds. What was that ref saying to him? That's why you want to keep everything in the middle, so everyone hears it and everyone sees it.
Yes, that makes total sense to me. But, we how we are these days, this is a question I just wanted to see your answer.
You'll get with me reffing, you'll get plenty of warnings. Like I said, if I ever take a point from one of your fighters, you'll know why.
Yeah.
You'll say, okay, hey, hey, he's warned you, he's telling you. Like, example, I had a kid who he kept like he didn't know how to breathe through his mouth, so he kept like kind of having his mouthpiece out. I warned him like 4 times. Blue, bite down on that mouthpiece. Blue, bite down on that mouthpiece. So him and Red going at it. Red knocked it out his mouth. I pick it up. I take it over to the corner. Blue, I need you to bite down on that mouthpiece. Mm-hmm. Done it again. All right, stop. Taking a point from Red, not bite down on the mouthpiece. What can the corner say at that point? Because I've warned you like 4 times.
Exactly. And we have an official here. He used to do a lot of Iowa. He's from Illinois, and he was a good official. He's one of the better ones I've seen in the ring. A lot of people used to complain, oh, man, he's interfering with the fight too much. No, he's not. He's doing his job. He's making that fight a better fight if they listen to what he's saying. We're not in here to be hugging and grabbing each other. We're in here to box. There's a time. There comes a time when you might have to grab someone after you get lit up and you see some stars or something. You might grab them real quick, but you can't do that the whole fight. And you're gonna see that with a lot of novice guys and stuff like that. But when you get to open, you shouldn't have to tell them guys that when they're open. They all had 10 or more fights. They should know what they're supposed to be doing, and that's when you get them good elite fights. The ones that go 2 or 3 minute rounds. Them are some good fights because they know exactly what they're supposed to be doing. But not all do.
Yes, and like I said, even those things, you warn a fighter, hey, Red, you're holding. Red, you're holding. And like I said, you give those soft cautions, you give a warning, and then it's time to start taking points. As an official, so this is my mindset. And I'm sure the fans that are listening to this can agree. Y'all not here to see me, so I try to stay out the way. As long as you're not committing fouls or doing stuff like that, I'll stay out of your way. But, if you want to hold and, you want to try to step on shoes and different little things like that, then, hey, I never want to take a point because I never want to be like, man, this is such a close fight and I made that decision. But my job is to keep both fighters safe.
Exactly. Yes. And at the end of the day, this boxing is, it's mostly all volunteers. Coaches volunteer their time. The officials volunteer their time. It's not like you guys are getting paid to go anywhere. You guys do it because of the love of the sport. But like I said, I'll always take care of you whenever you come in because you're doing me a favor. I'm gonna set you up,
man,
I will.
And not even just that, man. I loved after your show, all the officials met up. I can't remember the name of the place, so forgive me.
Mad Meatballs. It's one of my sponsors, Mad Meatballs. Thank you.
Oh man, it was amazing. But I loved after the fact we all sat down and enjoyed a meal together. I think that type of stuff is important.
And the good thing about that is that we sat there and ate and watched boxing on TV. It wasn't like we was talking about any of the fights for any of you coaches out there trying to say, oh, he's out there. No, it was nothing about that. When we leave that venue, all the fight and everything was done left in that venue. It's time to go out and have something to eat. Take care. You gotta take care of people, man. That's how you get respect from people is by taking care of them. So then I'm definitely gonna take care of you. I'm definitely gonna talk to you. We friends. I talk to you on, Facebook and stuff every now and then. But just because and I don't expect you just because you're in my show and you're judging one of my kids. My kid's getting his ass whooped. That's how it is. Bottom line, I can cuss right, Abraham.
And that's how it is. And like I said, even reffing or judging, one of your kids, hey, if you come up after, hey, Wayne, why'd you give a standing eight count? I'm going to tell you. So it's no different than I would anybody else. I stand on integrity. Now, if it's a kid that I've came to your gym and it's like, man, I really, I know this kid. I like this kid. I'll tell you at your show, hey, bro, I can't ref. Yep. I can't ref his bout. Respect. I can't judge his bout.
Yep. I understand all that. Yeah, because like I said, wherever the referee sees and he does, that's his job. I would never jump up there and be one of them coaches. Hey, why you can't make a count? Hey. Well, maybe he should have kept his damn hands up and he wouldn't have got that 8 count. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it is what it is. I only had to do that one time, but I left it to after. It was a state tournament to advance, and my kid, this Cesar kid, have you heard him talk about before? He put hands all up down his kid's head, and for some reason lost the fight. But one of the officials that day told me, he goes, I had your kid winning all 3 rounds. I don't know what they were watching. So I'm like, let me give someone a call real quick. So I called him up. I said, hey man, first I seen the scorecards. I'm like, okay, that makes sense now. Then I had to call the president up at the time and say, hey man, things popped off at the show. Don't take anything out of my club if it's someone else's club. I said, because we all know that my kid did not lose that fight. Everyone in the venue knew he won that fight, and they made it right. You know what I mean? And he got, they figured it out, and he ended up going to the regionals at a different weight class. I think he had to go up one, I think, or something like that. But they didn't take that from him, and something like that, taking something away from a kid that young in his career, he could have said, you know what, I'm not gonna box anymore. You know what I mean? And left.
I agree, man.
But that
kid,
and
that's why.
Yeah, that kid that says our kid. He's still with me to this day, and all my kids at the gym know I keep it real. I'm gonna talk about Cesar because Cesar's been with me since he's been 8 years old. He's been through the COVID wait. He's been through a lot in the years he's been doing it, and he understands now. At 14, he just turned 14. He won nationals when he was 10, right before COVID at 95 pounds, 10-year-old, and then he came back from COVID at 165. So he had to lose a lot of weight to get where he's at right now at 132, which is a perfect weight class for him now. But on his way down, he had been fighting a lot of heavier kids with more, as in for show bouts, with that 24-month rule. So he was fighting a lot of kids almost 2 years older than him, but that just made him a better boxer at the end of the day, and made him realize, hey, I need to lose this weight because these kids are too big. Now he's finally fighting kids his own age and weight, and then it's helping a lot. But what do you think about? What have you seen over the years? Is there a kid that sticks out there like that to you from down there in that area?
Man, we got some really, really good fighters down here in Kansas City. Most definitely. We have. I get to go to Atlanta every year. I work my guy Mike Lugo's show every year, so I get to see a lot of fighters, from Atlanta, New York, Florida, stuff like that. I also do a lot of work in St. Louis, man. Oh my God, St. Louis has some amazing fighters. What I like and what I enjoy it's just seeing the progression. So I work the Silver Gloves every year too. That's here in Independence, Missouri.
Yep. I remember.
That's a national tournament, so it's fighters from all over. And I love seeing one kid. He might come down here and he might lose the first day, but then next year he comes back and he makes it to the finals. I love to see the progression. That's
exactly.
why I take my job so serious as a ref, as a judge, and to make sure I'm providing quality scoring, different things like that. Because like you said, man, one fight can make a kid say, man, I'm done with this.
Exactly.
And it's like, it's unnecessary. You know what I'm saying? So, man, I get to see a lot of good fighters from all over.
Yeah, I bet. Especially that national tournament. That's no joke down there. You see all kinds of slick kids down there in different styles and do different things every different round. Coaches, real smart coaches having to go to plan B because plan A isn't working and all that stuff. But at the end of the day, it's up to the kid.
Oh my God, I love to see that even as a ref and as a judge. I've seen fights where the first round, I'm thinking to myself, okay, if this kid takes any more shots like this, I'm gonna stop it. But then they come on the second round, and now this is a completely different fight.
Changed it up, exactly. And
completely different fight.
That all has to buckle down to listening to your coach and trusting what your coach sees outside the ring. Don't be listening to all your friends off to the side, your mom and dad who don't know don't know the ring. If you understand what I'm talking about when I say know the ring, know when to be doing things in the ring at certain points in that ring, how to do it, and when you're supposed to do it. You know what I mean? Because that's the worst thing you can do is have a bunch of parents out there or friends yelling the wrong stuff at the kid when you're trying to set him up. You're trying to set him up to be in a better space. You know what I mean? And it's all about space. We all know that, but not everyone does. But
I hear that. So as a judge, I'm watching a fight and it's a chess match in there. But then I'll hear somebody yell, "Man, knock him out! Throw this punch!" And it's like, no, he's doing exactly what he's supposed to do right now.
And that's funny you said that because I was down and I had my pro fighter down in South Carolina. We were the underdogs, of course. The deal was 6-0. My guy was fighting for his first time with me. He at the time he was 3-3-2, I think he was, and I'm yelling things to him like loud, and I had the announcer sitting right next to me, and I'm like, oh man, I'm sorry not being so loud. He goes, no, you keep doing what you're doing because your guy's doing exactly what you're telling him to do. Every time you tell him something, he's hitting them with it, and it's looking really nice. So keep doing what you're doing. So that makes a lot of difference, man, and that goes back to training them kids to listen to your voice, my voice. Listen to my voice. Don't listen to anyone else's voice but mine. Because even back in the days when I fought, the cornermen couldn't talk during the fight. They had to be quiet. They only could talk to you in between rounds. But now they gave us a little leeway. Oh, wow. Yeah, they gave us a little leeway that we can talk now, but we just can't talk to them when they're in the white corner. We don't supposed to, but I be trying to. I be trying.
That's another.
You know what I'm saying?
Another thing too. That's another little trick too. So when you send a fighter to the neutral corner, you know you're not supposed to be coaching. So you might be like, hey, no coaching. Or if somebody's shoe comes untied or a mouthpiece, that's why as the ref I walk you over there to make sure you're not coaching.
And that's the most embarrassing thing, man, is to a freaking referee bringing you over to tie your goddamn kid's shoe. That's so damn embarrassing, man. It's embarrassing as hell, man.
Sometimes, man. I've even seen a coach, man. I'm not gonna say from where, but I've seen a coach where in the second round, this kid is gassed. So I seen him kind of loosen the shoelace, and at the time I'm like, okay, I don't know what that's about, but okay. But then we get in the third round. The shoelace comes untied. So, I got to stop it. And he walks. I'm like, oh, okay. Okay, I see. So, like I said, it's all kind of little things like that.
Little things. Yep, exactly. But, yeah, this is going to open a lot of eyes to people out there, the podcasters out there. It's going to look a little bit different to you in the amateur boxing world now that you know what they're looking for compared to what you think they're looking for, because everyone is a judge. Everyone's a coach.
Yeah.
Everyone was a boxer.
I would love to, man. And anytime, bro, you want to call me, I can come on here. I definitely will. I definitely will, man. I enjoy it. And like I said, anytime I can get up to Iowa and work one of your shows or any shows up there, man, I would love to do it.
Most definitely, because I'm trying to throw them. You know me. Like I said, when I first started back here in 2015 at that Southeast Des Moines gym, Jerry Holman, thank you for letting me start up at your gym. I started helping him throw shows, and that was my main thing: is throw shows, bring boxing. I almost said Davenport, but it's always been in Davenport. Bring boxing back to Des Moines. How it used to be when I was a kid. I used to remember coming up here all the time to fight in shows and coming up here for Golden Gloves and all that stuff. So we're on the right track up here. I know I'm doing my part of it by throwing shows as much as possible, but at the same time, I don't want to throw too many shows because I want other clubs to throw their shows as well. Yes. If that makes sense to you. But if I start paying attention, I always pay attention, but if I start seeing clubs not trying to throw shows around here, then I'm just going to start booking them every 3 months.
Hey,
it is what it is, man.
Let me know I'm ready, man. And then I also want to talk to you. We could talk offline about this, like as far as the travel business as well, because I think that'll benefit you. With having the shows and having as the shows get bigger and people coming in town and stuff like that. I'll talk to you about that a little later.
Yes, that sounds good. Yeah, that's most definitely, man. What I should have did is when the Golden Gloves people were getting their stuff all booked up, I should have had them call you. You probably could have got them hooked up on some flights and stuff. I'm not sure what they went through. So I'm just on the board. I don't do all that, the money and all the tickets and stuff. I don't get into it that deep because that's not my level. I'm just on the board. Now, if I was president, vice president, or something like that, then I'd be up in the mix of all that stuff. But right now, I'm just on the board, and just trying to get Iowa back to where it used to be, because we ain't nowhere close to that. That's for sure. But
right, well, hey, man, I love it, man. I love to be a part of it, man. So, like I said, just keep me posted on the shows, and man, I'll come up for sure.
All right, most definitely, man. I appreciate having you here, man. And I think this is going to be a big one out there for all them boxing fans, coaches, supporters, whatever, anything I do at boxing. Now you know. Now you know when you go to these fights, you're gonna understand why this kid won and that kid lost. Compared to complaining about he was that. No, because they wasn't doing what they're looking for. I appreciate you, Wayne. Good luck on your adventure with the travel guy stuff. Looks like you're doing big things. Keep up the good work, man. And I definitely will be getting a hold of you in the fall, because I'm gonna try to do that pro-am show I was telling you about. I've been wanting to do one for a while now, so that's going to be a great one. I'd like to you be a part of. I know you'll probably be able to be a part of the amateur part of the judging, but if you could do the pro 2 at the time, that'd be perfect. But I'll take what I can get, and I'll take care of you. You know.
I appreciate you, man. And like I said, we'll be in touch. We always talk anyway. So, man, thank you. I appreciate it.
All right, man. If you ever see any shows down that way, man, because I don't link up with too many of them teams down there, but just Flaco Ramirez's gym. We used to go down there a lot to fight in his shows, but he stopped having shows. I haven't heard of him have one for a while. But if you ever hear any shows coming up from down there, man, just let me know. Because like I said, I'm down for traveling. You guys are only 2.5 from me anyway, so we're down for coming down. So
I sure will. It's one coming up. The next one I know, we have a big one in Springfield, man. Coach Smitty is putting one together. So I'll let you know on that one, man. You can bring your team down.
Most definitely. Give me some information on that when you get it, man. I appreciate your time. And until next time, we out of here.
All right. Appreciate you.